OpTic absolutely clapped Sentinels on Bind, and this is just a couple weeks after they lost to Rise on the same map. So I wanted to look at this one and just kind of analyze what OpTic did differently and why it was so effective to absolutely stopping Sentinels on their map pick. So here we are in the pistol round, and there's just a couple things that I wanted to point out in this one. Sentinels is going to go for a 4-1 split here in hookah. You can see this. Shazam going to be droning up long to try and create some sort of distraction. And the execute is pretty good in theory. However, a little bit of mis-execution by Sentinels. You can see right here as Sick blast packs in, he's going to actually end up in a stun from Zombs. So this is his own Astra stun, which was meant to clear out the back of the site. Ends up stunning Sick, and then he gets killed by Marv, who's hiding in the cubby. And for whatever reason, it doesn't get calmed immediately that Marv is there, so he gets a second kill. If we go back to the very beginning of the round, we're going to see OpTic is 4 players on B already. So they're gambling that Sentinels is going to come B. Maybe this is a tendency thing where they know Sentinels likes to go hookah early on pistol rounds. Either way, they're able to do this because they have a chamber. EA is playing the chamber this map, no longer just a one-trick jet. What this allows them to do is that they can have one person watching showers and they can have a trademark watching a short. And basically, what we're going to see throughout the course of this entire map, OpTic basically uses the trademark as if it was another person. They allow the trademark and Chamber's utility to hold space for them, which allows them to more heavily invest in other parts of the map. Now, round number 3 is always a really, really crucial one, especially if one team is up 2-0, as we see OpTic is here, because this is the first rifle buy. And if you lose this first rifle buy, it can get kind of dicey for you in the first half. So Sentinels not going to go B this time. They're going to play a little bit kind of a split approach. We have one player watching long over here. We have 2 players trying to create some shower pressure. And then we have 2 players watching short. You'll also notice that there are now 2 trademarks over here in A. And this is really important because one is watching lamps, one is watching short. So basically this first one kind of serves as a deterrent for the Viper lurk. We see this Viper wall, which Gambit kind of popularized, and then the Viper smoke here in A short. These 2 things generally allow a Viper to, lurk up into lamps and take lamps control. And that's kind of how a lot of A executes happen with Viper on Bind. However, because there's this trademark, it's going to detect the Viper lurking up through short. And then if that one gets cleared and they do continue to try and go into lamps, there's a second trademark watching this. And what this allows OpTic to do is stack showers. So we're going to see a ton of utility being exchanged here in showers for control of this orb. And, a gravity well, boom bots, nades. Sick tries to clear out the corner with a nade. Marv just walks through it and surprises him by being in that corner. And you can see that there's 3 players from OpTic over here. So a huge amount of emphasis on this shower's control. You can see that Sentinels, again, trying to just kind of push forward. The trademark gets cleared. Another trademark is going to be detected here in the corner. So OpTic is 100% certain that there are players in lamps, and that's obviously very, very valuable because they have full showers control and they also have full B control because nobody has pushed B. So basically OpTic knows that all of Sentinels is playing in this tiny little corridor like this. And this becomes a huge theme on this map where OpTic essentially just gives Sentinels a couple parts of the map every round, but they know that because they're giving those up, Sentinels is going to be there every single round. If you think about it, when you're playing on attack, as we watch this round play out, the 2 easiest places, the 2 most common places to get into for attackers are lamps on A site and hookah on B site. OpTic continually just gives up lamps and hookah. But then, because they know that Sentinels is in those 2 areas, they can then spam them out of them with utility. It just becomes sort of like it's almost like a trap. They allow Sentinels to walk into this small area of the map. They then pincer move from all sides around that area of the map and eventually just kind of grind them down with Raze utility, Viper utility, Astra utility, and obviously a hail of bullets as well. Now, OpTic gave us a bunch of different looks against Sentinels. Here's another pretty unique one. This is sort of keyed by FNS having this Viper's Pit available. So right off the bat, he's going to go ahead and use the Viper's Pit to control showers. So that's going to deter Sentinels from going there. Again, we see a trademark holding short. So this kind of allows the Sova to play back and maybe play early rotate if possible. And then there's another trademark here in Hookah. And this kind of combos with the Astra, and there's also a Viper wall going across it, a couple of stars. So just a huge amount of slow and deterrent utility for anybody coming into Hookah. It kind of acts as, again, a second player almost to allow the Astra to play here pretty safely. And then this gives 2 players the freedom to play towards long. So really good coverage across the entire map. Just the way that OpTic is cycling utility to stop Sentinels from going into Hookah is incredible. So the round starts, they put up the Viper wall. There's a gravity well outside of it. The boombot gets cleared by Marv. There's another star here waiting. He's going to go ahead and recall that for now because the Viper wall is still up. There's still a trademark there as well. As Sentinels backs off and gets ready to come back towards Hookah again, you can see once again there is another Astra Star now placed in Hookah, stopping any forward momentum. So now that the Astra Star is getting closer to dissipating, they also put up the wall. This gives Marv really, really good cover. Finds a little pick. Tens does swing off of that, but there's been so much time invested just to clear one tiny part of the map. And again, this trademark is still here short, so nobody is short. OpTic knows there's 0 people on A because FNS has not been challenged in showers. There's a trademark still holding short. And so what is this? 3 players over towards B. It's really just kind of grinding Sentinel's aggressive style to a halt. You can see again, Sentinels wants to execute here. There's a little Nova Pulse here in the back, but there's a Molly blocking them. So they have to deal with this. There's been so much stalling and the rounds have gone so well so far that there's rounds of ultimate utility now as well. You can see that Crashies has a Hunter's Fury and Victor has the Showstopper. So both of those are going to come out to counter the Sentinels' attack as they start to try and pressure the site. See, the hit comes in. Immediately, the Hunter's Fury gets popped in response to Shazam's Hunter's Fury. Victor is going to pop the Showstopper and find a kill there as well. So 2 ultimate kills right there. Victor and Crashies both getting one with their ultimates. FNS is now able to come through Teleporter because it's communicated that they have hit the site. This gives Sentinels a problem because they haven't been able to clear out the back of site. So they know that there's players here and they know that there's players in Hookah. So realistically, Sentinels is only allowed to play in long. One-dimensional strategies are very, very hard to win with, especially when you don't have a numbers advantage. So we're going to see OpTic basically just kind of whittle them down with utility. Crashies again kind of clutching it up for OpTic. It's one of those situations where the setup that OpTic has is just perfect for dealing with Sentinels and their kind of stubborn need to basically just execute on the site that they choose, regardless of how hard it is to do so. So here we are in round number 8, 7-0 OpTic. Things are getting a little bit dire for Sentinels, and we're going to see them again try to create a little bit of aggressive pressure early. They do have to deal with this EA operator. I can't stop pointing this out, but the 2 trademarks right here. We've got one here in Lamps, and we have one here in Hookah. Again, these are the 2 areas that OpTic doesn't actually care about giving up, but they want to know if people are going there. The trademark is perfect for that because it allows you to kind of passively gather that information and also just reliably allow Sentinels to go to the one area of the map that you want them to go into. You can see once again, OpTic is playing a couple players towards B long, the trademark watching Hookah, and 3 players over here. 2 of them watching showers, EA watching short with the operator. But as this hit comes in from Sentinels, they do have the sick Showstopper to create some space. You can see that Sentinels just kind of funnels into Lamps once again. Sick looks for contact with his Showstopper, is not finding anything. OpTic is happy to concede this whole part of the site and a short to the Showstopper. And we have a really quick little teleport flank from Victor with his own Showstopper as well. And now we find ourselves in a situation that I feel like we've seen a few times before. Sentinels funneled into a very, very small part of the map and OpTic behind them from multiple different angles. So it's really just kind of a masterclass on how to handle an aggressive team and punish them for taking space at the beginning of the round. And so even though Victor gets caught off there, Sentinels is fairly committed. They have 10s up in Lamps. They feel like, well, maybe we have the space, we should do something with it. But you can see OpTic, they're passively just like, all right, take Lamps control. Guess we'll take it back if you're not going to come at us aggressively. And Sentinels is stuck once again here in A short. and not really entirely sure what to do because they don't have any map control anywhere else, and OpTic doesn't need to worry about anybody lurking through B because there's, again, a trademark here. I really do think that this chamber utility from Ye's chamber is a huge factor in why they were able to completely dominate Sentinels on Bind.